What's going on, guys? JPP Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday. And for today's matchup, we have an Adventures Pranks versus a Roast Tenyi, with my opponent playing Roast Tenyi going first. Now, I only had one hand trap in my hand in this game, which was the Maxi, and it thankfully resolved, so my opponent could not negate it. That means he cannot go into his full combo. He gets a token on the field, we get a guaranteed card draw of Maxi, normals Chi when. This is when I realized he is playing the Adventure Rose Tenyi, and this could have been a train wreck waiting to happen if I could not Maxi him or if my Maxi did not go through. So going into my turn, I draw into a copy of Instant Fusion. At this point, we know for a fact that he will be able to put one Omni on the field, being the Griffin Rider, once I do my first action. So it does not matter what action I take, normal out a card, activate Pandemonium, or even activate Enchantress, he will be able to chainlink the Griffin, put it on the field. That will serve as one Omni Negate. With my current hand, I had no problem playing through one Omni Negate. So first of all, we activate Enchantress to go into our Adventure combo, and this dude flips over a 9 Pillars of Yanzing. He had a Yanzing monster on the field, which was a Chiven, so he flips it over. I did not expect for him to hard draw into it, so now at this point, we're basically playing against two Omni Negates. Let's see how we push past this board. Now, you guys will see something weird in the sense that the 9 Pillars will not make him destroy the Yanzing on the field. Now, it's not a glitch or a bug. You guys have to understand and read the card. It says when your opponent activates some effect and if you control a Yanzing monster, you negate the activation. That's the first thing. It negates the activation. And if you do, you could shuffle that card into the deck. Now, from that in with the way this worked out, he cannot shuffle the card back into my deck. And the condition for required to destroy a Yanzing monster is that you want to shuffle that card. If there is no shuffle, that means this Yanzing card on the field will not be destroyed. It'll still stay on the field. So that's the reason why he did not have to destroy the Yanzing monster on the field. Then he puts the Griffin on the field as well, so that's going to be the second Omni Negate. Obviously, I have a way to push past this anyways, and this will basically be a combo that you guys can use that is inbuilt in prank kits to push past your opponent's Ash Blossom. So basically, he uses Griffin Omni as an Ash Blossom, negates my first graveyard activation. That's okay with us. We have Pandemonium in our hand and two other named Prankest monster. Now this combo would have worked if you only had one other named Prankest monster in your hand as well, but since we had two, we decided to use those to go into our Rocket Ride. Now over here, I still chain block with Rocket Ride because I'm not going to be attacking with Rocket Ride anyways, and in case, he wants to randomly Ash me in the middle, this would serve as a chain block. We get our two specials on the field, we go into our Doodle-Doo. Now, if you guys notice one thing I did, with the Pandemonium play, I sent a copy of Fancies to the graveyard to activate Fancies. And with the Fancies activation, the card I sent to the graveyard was my Prank Kid's Pranks. Because my opponent had a face down card set on the field as well. Now this card could have been Imperm, it could have been Forbidden Droplet, and if he used that on my Doodle-Doo to negate my Doodle-Doo search, and I became greedy and sent a place with my Fancies instead of Pranks, I would have been in big trouble. So to play it safe, I sent Pranks to the graveyard, so this Doodle-Doo search did not matter to me. But we got a copy of Place in our hand anyways. I'm going to activate Place, search for a copy of Roxy's, we're going to activate the Doodle-Doo, tribute itself, target the Pandemonium and Pranks in the graveyard, add them back to our hand. Then we're going to activate Rocket Ride, target Doodle-Doo and another named Prankest monster, put those cards on the field. Then, using those two cards, so at this point, the only card I have not activated in the graveyard is my copy of Roxy's. So going into my second Doodle-Doo, I have to use my copy of Roxy's. I mean, it wouldn't matter because you could still do a full combo anyways, even if you use your Lamseys, but I wanted to get a card draw at this point. So I chain blocked my graveyard activation with my Prank Kid's Place since my opponent had monsters on the field. Roxy's, banish a Roxy's from my hand, which we earlier searched, special out Fancies, draw into an Enchantress, we go into our Bow Wow, activate Prank, set down Pandemonium, end our turn. With the pranks, recycle 3, draw into a copy of Dropsies. So this basically ended up becoming a full combo anyways, and this basically means that if you have the right cards in your hand, you can push past your opponent's Ash Blossom if they Ash Blossom you on your first graveyard activation. It's not like it completely kills your turn off. And mind you, you cannot go into combo extension with Instant Fusion because you use Pandemonium. You are locked into prank its monsters only, so you cannot go into Predator Plan to go into your Butler or DPE this way. So keep that in mind when you utilize this combo. Opponent's draw phase, we activate our Bow Wow, get the cards we need for the Butler combo into our hand. Now, once my opponent activates the Faithful Adventure to search for the Griffin, we know that we have to activate Pandemonium before the Griffin comes on the field, otherwise I will be wasting one of my Butler pops, and it will be getting negated, so I'll basically be wasting both my Butler pops in one single piece. So we go into Butler, he gets the Griffin Rider search, we get our graveyard activations. And off of these graveyard activations, obviously we are going to use our Butler to pop our opponent's field before the Griffin gets on the field. Now sadly, as I said before, this card could be a Forbidden Droplet and or an Imperm. So what I decided to do was, why not take the risk? I was saying I'll take the risk. If this card is Imperm or Droplet, I'm okay. I could probably push past that board my opponent sets up afterwards as well. Now I could have not been greedy and just said I know for a fact this card is Forbidden Droplet. I'm gonna just tribute my Butler, not use the Meowmoo and pop his field. But even if I did that, if he had a normal summon in his hand, which was a tuner, it was full combo for opponent anyways. So I decided to play greedy, and the greed did not pay off. Turned out the card in his hand was a Forbidden Drop. On the field was a Forbidden Droplet. He activates Forbidden Droplet and he sends a monster. The monster being the Griffin Rider from his hand that for some reason he activated. I don't know why, he just activated it. Forbidden Droplet's my Butler, and I cannot activate any monster effects in response to this. That means we cannot get the second Butler pop, and we cannot wipe our opponent's field. We still, however, get our graveyard activations. He goes into his Draco bag, bounces my Butler. I'm okay with it, we don't care about it. Then he goes into Crystron Hulk play, which will basically ensure a pretty much full board for the Rose Tenyi player. So I'm going to fast forward it through the opponent's combo. You guys already know what it is. They're going to go into the Olion. Olion is going to get a token on the field. I don't know why he went into Denlong, because he already searched for them. He already had 9 pillars in his starting turn. I guess he wanted to use it as a material to go into his Baron de Fleur, but that's okay with us. He gets the Adara as a tuner, goes into the Yazi. Yazi pops my pranks, activates the Chiwen, chain block with Riazi, gets his Chiwen plus the Vishuda, goes into Grandmaster. Grandmaster search for Taya. Now keep in mind this guy still had his normal summon at this point. So he normal summons out Taya, activates it, banishes Adara, gets a token, goes off into Yazi. This Bajia. This Bajia, since it was on the field coming through a Taya, means it gets 2 bounces, not 1. So he bounces 2 cards, sends an Ashina to the graveyard with the Taya's activation, pops his Faithful Adventure, puts a Taya on the field. Now even with all of this, it's not enough to lethal me. I know that he cannot lethal me this turn. That's the only thing I cared about. I do not care about the Omni on the field. I do not care about the Monster Negate on the field. If he does it this way, that means I still get another turn. That means I still have a chance to kill my opponent. Now, my best way to kill my opponent is to go into Instant Fusion, go into Rocket Ride. So I need this Instant Fusion to go through. I cannot have him use his Baron Omni to negate my Instant Fusion. And to top it all off, if that was not enough, the game slaps me in the face with a Nib draw. Now keep in mind, I only run 1 copy of Nib. I drew into Nib after my opponent did the full combo, which is a big slap in the face. The game tells you that. So anyways, first of all, we activate the Enchantress. I was hoping to get the Baron Omni through this and hope that he did not have Ash in his hand. So we managed to bait out the Baron's Omni. Really good for us. Now the only thing I need to care about is the Grandmaster negate on the field. So I go into my combo. First of all, chain block my first graveyard activation because I did not want to get Ash Blossomed. I wanted to get a card on the field. Now at this point, you guys might be thinking, why not keep going into your combo? I cannot because all my cards are currently in the graveyard. I do not have any other card I can special on the field. So what was really lucky for me is that I had a Dropsies in my hand to serve as my combo starter card. If you guys did not notice, I was down to 900 life points, and activating Instant Fusion requires 1000 life points. So by me normaling out Dropsies going into my combo, I get the 1000 life points I require to activate my Instant Fusion, go into Rocket Ride. And this will serve as a gateway for our full combo and OTK my opponent this turn itself. So we activate Rocket Ride, get the Bow Wow plus Doodle-Doo from the graveyard onto the field, activate the Doodle-Doo, and target Pranks and a card for a Pranks discard specifically. I wanted to use this to go into my Unicorn, and Unicorn would target the Grandmaster for a bounce. That means he has to use the Grandmaster bounce on the Unicorn, otherwise that Unicorn is pretty much dead. So we activate our Doodle-Doo search. We're going to be searching for a copy of Prank Kids Pandemonium, and off of this Lamseys, we are going to be specialing out the Fansies from our hand. That is the only card I can special. I had no other cards in my deck. So that Doodle-Doo tribute was huge at that point. If he had negated my Doodle-Doo with the Grandmaster or my Rocket Ride with the Grandmaster, I was pretty much dead at that point. I had no other thing I could have gone into. So big misplay on my opponent's part again. We activate Pranks, discard the Pandemonium, get a token. Using token plus Bow Wow, we go into Nightmare. As I said before, with Nightmare, we specifically target the Grandmaster. That way, once we go into Access Code, the Grandmaster cannot negate our Access Code. Now, Grandmaster is only a card negation, not a card destruction. So this Unicorn still stays on the field. And at the end, we have Access Code coming on the field for the final card and killing our opponent this turn itself. Now, with this Access Code, I had 4 pops I could have gone into without using up the Access Code, which would have been my 5th pop. So we start banishing different attribute link cards and start popping my opponent's field. 4 cards pop, we go into battle phase and kill off my opponent. That's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do enjoy this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPB Duel signing off for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!